In performance management, of course, we've always had annual performance reviews traditionally. Mr. Nketani, what was its greatest strength that we might be losing with continuous feedback?
Hardly any. Hardly any. It might have worked for certain organizations then, but appraising an employee once a year does not give you an opportunity to manage the performance of this employee continuously through the year. And it caused a lot of stress and frustrations by employees who only received their feedback at the time their work for the year is being appraised. That means at the end of the year. What happens, at the beginning of the year and during the year is all kept pending until the end of the year. That is when the feedback is given. Will that feedback be of any value to this employee given so many months after it has happened? It doesn't. And that is why, again, it was the ingenuity of human resource people who thought of the idea of, I think it's about time, we introduced a new approach. Performance management. Managers, line managers should be given to understand that performance should be managed continuously. People are working all the time, 50 weeks in a year. So do you want only to provide performance feedbacks at the end of the year, or continuously as you are moving together? Because you are working together, supervisor and the employee whose work they are supervising, and talking to each other. How are you performing? Are you sure you are moving in the right direction? I see that you're having difficulties there. Can you talk to me, please? Tell me what is happening, and so on. And that reduces issues of stress and anxieties by employees, because you are engaging throughout the year, other than wait until the end of the year. So really, the only value you can give to performance appraisals was that at least there was an assessment of performance. Whether it happened continuously or at the end of the year, there was a realization that performance review should be done at some point during the year. But once a year didn't work. And that's how we came to the continuous one.
Mr. Nketani, you make a good point, and I just recall a certain chapter earlier in my career where, yes, the targets and the goals were set, but then we were so much focused on new endeavors in the business, which were very critical for where we were heading. We were focusing more on talent management, succession planning, talent reviews, and so forth. So I found myself in a space where I did so much work in that area and somewhat neglected certain aspects that appeared in my goal setting and so forth. So when year end came, and here I am very proud of myself with so many achievements on the other side, but then my boss looked at me and said, look, this is what we said at the beginning of the year. How much of this did you achieve? But I was like, but look at what I did on the talent management side. And he says, that's not your job. As much as it had great impact for the organization, it wasn't my job. And I think that was among the worst ratings I ever got in my career.
Exactly.
So yes, it's very important to have continuous performance management, periodic reviews and so forth, as opposed to waiting until the end of the year.
I actually think it also helps strengthen the relationship within the organization, because you're always on the same page. What the next person is thinking as well. You're talking to each other. Another thing which I sort of tend to notice, I've developed a theory which I think I've proven right, I should write about it, is usually when there's a disconnect, it's one of two things. The manager is a problem, the employee is a problem, or the things that were agreed upon are a problem. But if there was a problem in that space and you had a strategy and you're working, if you're then going to wait until December, so much damage would have been done.
Exactly.
But you're able to nip that in the bud if you start early, so that you start to see, even when you're working and you notice, you sense there's a disconnect earlier on, after month one, you review and say, okay, let's go back, what's going on
What
here?
do we need to tweak?
What do we need to tweak? Let's move on.
Yeah.
I had one instance where just a simple change, for versus of, caused a steer. Just that, for versus of, changed the whole meaning of a key deliverable
I can understand.
in an organization. But if that wasn't identified early and if you waited for December, that
You will
becomes
not have made your contribution for the year.
Yeah.
And I think it also helps in terms of boosting productivity, because you find the more you're talking about, especially performance related and deliverable related conversations, you find that in as much as at the start you're estimated that this task might take 4 months, the more you're talking about it, the more you're prioritizing, you find you finish it in a month and a half and you're like, we can add on some more. We can do this, we can change that. Shifts in the economy, shifts in, different transactions. My favorite example always in banking was when Bank of Zambia changed their directives. Was it 2018? There was some process with there was check processing and so many activities. And you find a situation where somebody has been employed or unwarranted charges. Somebody was employed to do specifically all of those things which Bank of Zambia said you shouldn't do. What happens at the end? You're going to be fined. The person was doing meaningless work and so on. So I think that continuous conversation it's a huge win. Ultimately,
it does.
Productivity-wise, relationship-wise, it's a huge win.
It gives you an opportunity to coach this person. When do you coach this person other than during the process? Because that's when you're identifying whatever is not happening well and so on, and you keep reminding this person. If they have achieved something, tell them that this is well done.
Congrats,
I would
celebrate
like
them.
you to continue this way going forward. If anything is not working like you said, you quote, say, look, is this action that we agreed working? No. Can you think of an alternative before we get there, so that you don't stray, you don't fail? The idea is not to allow a situation where people fail at the end of the day. Then you're a bad teacher. You're a bad coach. If this employee failed, you have also failed.
Yes.
No question about it. Because your results are seen in the results of this employee whose performance you are managing.
Yeah, true. I remember one other incident where we had performance discussions for the appraisal period, and now we're discussing, results. And there was this employee, the manager was so convinced this person was brilliant. Everybody was just saying, no, this person doesn't do anything. And it was a back and forth, no, 5 stars, 0 stars, and so on. And so I said, okay, let's beam their scorecard on the screen, let's see what they do. What we found was both parties were right. The person was brilliant. It's just that the work they were doing was irrelevant.
Absolutely.
So, but the thing is, they waited to end of year. Had those conversations been taking place, people would have sat and said, okay, let's fix this. This person is good, but we're not drawing any value from them. Can we fix, align? So, and also the organization ultimately lost on that one employee, because an organization expects each employee from the lowest to the highest to be bringing a certain value. So the moment one person is misaligned, that's how much value is taken away from that organization. Multiplied by how many employees are misaligned, then you find only 5 people are working. And not because you have bad people, you haven't been talking. And that's what it does.